All right, guys, we have another late one. What is dubbed to be probably one of the best free-to-play units in Dokkan right now. And that is the LR Nuova Shenron. He is, of course, maxed out. We have the specific skill orbs on as well. Not level 10 links. There were just too many units to level 10 link when it did come to the GDC celebration. But we do have him on a 220 lead. Finally, better late than never. And we are starting with a 466k attack stat, 217k defense. And he started with key plus 4, 144% attack and defense. I'm now going to pop the domain up, so we're going to get that buffed up as well. And because we're in a rotation with another Shadow Dragon Saga category ally, which naturally you're going to do while running him with Dokkan Fest, the Mega, and the side Easy A's and Easy A's, etc. Or if we were facing a Shadow Dragon Saga enemy, we don't have to worry about that side of things. He does get an extra key plus 4 as well, and 44% chance to crit. So as you can see, we're never going to be struggling for key. That also rhymed. So he's now up to 583k defense and 217. 583k attack stat, 217 when it comes to defense. Considering I do have the friend Omega floating, and Texin basically has almost indestructibility right now, I'm going to let him start off in slot 1. We do have pretty much everything active aside from Gentleman, Cold Judgment, and Speedy Retribution. But that is completely okay. 18k super effect, or 18 key super effect, is going to be raising attack and defense by 44% for 4 turns. So basically just shy of a 50% attack and defense raise. But for 4 turns, I'll take that. And then he gets the exact same on his 12 key, except that is just for the turn instead. And he can beef himself up quite a lot, because when we're facing one enemy, which we are, or all allies are extreme, which they also are, 47.2 mil. That is a free-to-play unit putting out almost a 50 mil attack stat. That is wild. Even 29.2 on the additional. Crazy. Double digits on a normal as well. I'll definitely take that. But then when all allies are extreme in the same turn, which naturally is also going to be, he gets another key plus 4, hence why we're literally at 24 key before we even picked up orbs. And he does have 2 additional attacks, which you did see there, each which have a 50% chance to become a super attack. It's just a shame that only one of them became an additional rather than both. Now, when you are building this guy, or even though a lot of you probably already done it, but when building this guy, a lot of you probably wanted to give him additional in the skill orbs, probably additional in dodge, because he does get quite a lot of critical naturally in his passive. I didn't really get too many additional ones, so I just gave him what I had, and then a lot of them were defense, which I'll happily take because the sheer stats are just quite a bit more important if we're being completely real. But then when attacking with 14 or more key, which with the domain up, with all the extra key you can get from all the conditions, which naturally happen anyway with the 220 lead you're running him on, with Dokkan Fest LR Omega, you're always going to be having 14 key or more. You know, we're all sitting on 24 key right now. He will get an extra 244% attack and defense, and more importantly, 24% damage reduction, which isn't a lot by itself, but with the amount of defense we could possibly build up within those 4 turns, and then the additionals pop in, for a free-to-play unit, it really does beef Nuova Shenron up quite a lot. Then when activating his active skill, or when attacking with 24 key, which again is kind of almost guaranteed with the team that we're running him on, and all the extra key that we get pretty much for free, he does also then get 244% extra attack, and then a 44% crit chance. So in total, that would be an extra 488% attack, which is why he's doing so much damage. And then a total of 88% chance to crit. And then naturally, as a strength unit, he's getting more anyway. So he's going to have a ton of crit in his passive. Now, starting with 243k defense right now, I don't know how far that's really going to get him on an AoE. So I'm not going to lie to you, I'm a little bit concerned. I mean, he is going to have damage reduction, but that's still only 244%. Or not percent, 243k defense with 24% damage reduction pre-super. So I feel like these AoEs are really going to hit him hard. Or they can hit Texin Shenron quite hard. I forgot to move him. We're back in again, guys. Let's pop the domain, get it active, get it back up. I'm pretty sure this time around we're about 3 supers deep on Nova. So this should be the final turn. He builds up that 44% attack and defense for 4 turns. Let me check. Yeah, he's done 3 super attacks. So we're pretty much there. So with the domain back up, 534, 243 on the defense. I'm going to slide you in slot 1. We're going to see how he does with the AoE, which I'm still yet to see. How many turns has one of you been in battle for? So both of them have actually lost their 4-turn support, which of course is kind of crazy because Nova does damage anyway without the domain up, but with the mega support, but then does even more damage with the domain up and a mega support for 4 turns and the support he gives anyway. Which again, for a free-to-play unit is really, really impressive. And then when he receives a Ki Blast super attack, and this is another reason why you want to give him dodge, because he also has just none in his passive, but also because of this part of his passive, he has a chance to nullify. Hold on. 265. Do you know what? Considering that's pre-super, I'll take that. That's just the domain. A little bit of a mega support, because again, the 4 turns are done on the attack, even though that wouldn't make a difference. And his damage reduction he gets, which is only 24%. So that's still really, really good. And again, it's a free-to-play unit. For you to tank 200k on an AoE pre-super like that, for a free-to-play, is something you don't see too often. But when receiving a Ki Blast super attack, Nova does have 4 turns of guaranteed nullification, which is huge. I mean, especially because while he does build up a decent amount of defense, and again, he's got the support coming out the woodwork with his team, especially with 2 Omegas, especially with the domains, especially again when you're running 2 of them, and then post-super getting a good amount of defense, and then as long as you get 14 or more Ki, which is kind of almost guaranteed, that's 24% damage reduction. To then also have a nullifier as well, it gives him so much defensive coverage that just typically free-to-play units don't have. It easily makes him runnable in difficult content. I mean, I know this is a little bit of an old of a red zone stage, but this Fusion Zamasu isn't no chump. You know, that AoE still hits for a lot of damage. You know, it can still catch units who need to super attack. You know, he still does quite a bit of damage on super in general. So, to have that much defensive utility as a free-to-play unit, and as I just work this well on this team, I know there's a lot of support, as I said, going around and domains, etc. But even so, have we ever seen a free-to-play unit like get this amount of treatment, like be treated this well and be this good? I think this is probably one of the best free-to-play releases we've ever gotten in Dokkan. Honestly. Like, what a stacked out team. What an amazing free-to-play unit. And then after the 5th turn, which of course we've gone past at this point, he then has a 70% chance to nullify as well, which I'm not gonna lie, again, even not having it guaranteed with all the rest of it, sensational. It still being a 70% chance, which is still a good amount of percentage chance to get the nullify with everything else Nova does. Think about the amount of damage he does, the amount of crit chance, again, how well he's linked up with units on this team, with domains, support, and you know how defensively solid he is, because he's been tanking normals the entire time we've done this run, and the one prior. That's still some amazing defensive coverage. Which is why when you give him skill orbs, when you do the hidden potential system, you want to give him a decent amount of dodge, because then that way he's got, even if only a little bit, small amounts of dodge. He's got a few additionals anyway, and a bit more from the hidden potential system. He's got a ton of crit, and he's got a nullify, and he's got damage reduction. He's actually got so much going for him, and because the AoE's in slot 1, this guy's going to die. But for a free-to-play unit, as I said, dare I say, he's probably one of the best free-to-play units we've ever gotten in Dokkan. I said, he just does so much for a free-to-play unit. I think the only thing he doesn't do is support, which on a team like this, when there's so much already and domains everywhere, you kind of don't need it because there's enough support already flowing through the team. But damn, for a free-to-play unit to be this viable in difficult content is just something you don't see often. Once again, I know this is a little late, but I wanted to wait until I get myself a Dokkan Fest L Armor Omega, and just like Texan's EZA, it was definitely worth the wait. Just think about it, in a couple years time, this guy will get a free-to-play EZA. Think about how good he's going to be then. But even right now, he is amazing. But regardless, let me know your thoughts down in the comments. I'll see you in the next video, guys. See you in the next video, guys. Take care, have a great day, and peace.